All right, we are back live here on the show floor here at Forrester B2B Summit. We are on the marketplace floor next to the big boot, still next to the big boot. Going to continue our series of interviews with B2B go-to-market leaders. Very excited to have here Gerard Green. He's the CMO at Vivint, longtime marketing executive, sales enablement expert, and pickup basketball aficionado. We're going to cover it all, Gerard,
All right,
as long as you're open to it.
I'm open to it all. Let's get it, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Well, I mean, before we get into some of the fun personal stuff, I want to just kind of maybe have, for people that don't know you, your background. Former middle school math teacher.
Yeah.
You were in an analyst role, Gartner research director for a long time. I think both of those bring a level of discipline and patience to a CMO role. But just talk about that background. And so, I mean, we've all got these unique, almost like non-plan. There's sort of a little bit of plan, a little bit of serendipity. Mm-hmm. And for someone that went from middle school to research to CMO, what's that unique path taught you?
The path taught me that the one common denominator, all three roles, is how do you take something that is complex to the audience and make it simple?
Yeah.
So I got 7th graders. How do you teach algebra? How do you teach math? It's complex to them. Find the analogy, find the hook, find the connection. Same for Gartner. There's a world in 2004, and for the time I was there from 2004 to 14, SaaS is the rage, BI is the rage, social, mobile, the whole bit. How do you take these complex topics, explain them to an audience in ways that make sense? And as a CMO, it's the same role. You just do it at scale. You have a complex technology, you're in a complex market. How do you make it make sense? So that's been the common theme. I've tried to keep those principles of simplicity to the point, make it make sense at the foundation of what we do, and have had marginal success so far. So I appreciate it, and we'll keep going for as long as I can.
I mean, you've had great success, right? I mean, leading product marketing at Aptio, similar role, customer marketing at HighSpot. Certainly doing this, and I think even just the journey you've had at Vivint. Between Viva and Ava, and just over the last couple of years, really navigating what has been exciting but choppy water. As a leader, as an executive at a company, going through that and sort of coming out on the other side. It's exciting to see kind of the results you're seeing now. Kind of what are your lessons for others that are sort of maybe in the middle of that kind of a process?
Yeah, stay the course. I mean, I think it's kind of like a puzzle with a lot of these changes. You open it, you know what it should look like at the end, but you dump those pieces on the table. And you know it's going to be a slog. It's going to be hard. Some of these puzzles are harder than others. Build the corners, build the foundation, and then start to build something beautiful in the middle. Won't always be easy, won't always be without challenges, but it will be worth it. And I would say the only constant is change in all those roles you mentioned, especially particularly with the pivot and change we made now. Leverage the team you have, trust the advisors you work with, but more importantly, trust yourself. You've been put in the role to do the thing that you're uniquely qualified to do, so don't doubt yourself through the process. I know it sounds cheesy and corny, but I think it's real. I think sometimes it's easy to get down on yourself, and it's easy to fall into this pit of despair. Keep going. You're uniquely qualified and been put in this position to do the great work, so do it.
So I want to talk about sales enablement and what has really kind of become almost, if we had to rename it, we might call it buyer enablement now, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a whole topic around that. And it's one thing to talk about what we think the market is doing and another thing to show what the market is doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, your SDR team has grown pipeline 40% quarter over quarter with a materially smaller staff. Mm-hmm. And that's AI signal intelligence. That's sort of drinking your own champagne. Mm-hmm. What's been key to making that successful, and what lessons would you impart to others that want similar results?
I think the key for us is, you mentioned buyer enablement. I got in trouble, Matt, at a conference last week or last month where I made an assumption that said if we were doing serious decisions a decade ago at this very conference, the stat would go up and say, buyer 70% through the journey before the first phone call. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that famous stat. And I took a leap and I said, look, I probably think that's like 90, 95 right now. Yep. I think the buyer is probably further along the journey you believe. I think AI-powered search has changed the way, and I think our friends at, I want to say AI Ops or Air Ops, put a survey together and a study together that said closest to 50% of people have changed the way that they start to search for tools.
Yep.
Used to be the 3 Gs, Gartner, Google, G2.
Yep.
I used to hit those 3, and then I'd find and narrow the scope of the tools I want. I'd read some reviews, I figured out, I go on those sites, I put in some demo requests, and now I'm off to the races. I think with AI now, particularly the Claudes, the Geminis, the OpenAI and GPTs, you and I could get 95% down the path of what are the tools I want, what are the requirements, what's the price point I should look at, What are the daggers I should look for? And then take it one step further. What's my business case to my CFO look like?
Yeah.
What's the stakeholder map that I need to build internally? And if I can get 95% of the way there, the first contact with the vendor is everything I couldn't do on my own. So your BDR or your AE or your SC better be ready to handle that 5% of what they don't know in a way that's flawless. Otherwise, they're moving on.
Yeah.
There's just a few moments that make or break the call in the process, and I think in shrinking that window, we want to make sure we meet the moment. We want to make sure our customers can meet the moment. But I think that's the key, is recognizing that the buyer's never been this armed before. Sometimes they're armed with incorrect context, but they are armed and they are confident and they are ready to work. And if you can't meet them where they are, they will work with your competitor in a different way.
Talking today on the Forrester B2B Summit floor with Gerard Green. He's the CMO at Vivint, and so many different directions we can take this. I want to talk about something you talked about Vivint Next last year, and you've been big in your career and in your content around community-driven marketing and serving communities. And there's an underserved community that I really hadn't even thought about. And this probably quite not the sales engineers.
Yeah.
Right? Sales engineers that are out there grinding it out.
Yeah.
That often don't have a big team of similar SEs in their organization. But if you can connect them together, that becomes powerful for them. It becomes powerful for you as a facilitator. Talk about that specific use case and what that has taught you about community marketing.
So take it like we look around the show floor, and you know that the unsung heroes at every single one of these booths is a great sales engineer.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who are doing the demo. They might not be the person that brings the person to the booth, but as soon as technical questions come, the person who got them there says, "Oh, we'll talk to Paul here."
Yep.
And Paul's running on fumes right now. He's tired and his feet hurt, but he's here and he's here making it work on maybe. It's not a Forrester knock, but maybe subpar Wi-Fi, maybe a bad connection, maybe the product, right? But he or she is working very hard.
Right.
And I would attribute a lot of my success in product marketing to having a great sales engineer partner in crime. The key to Aptio and HighSpot and Cherwell was finding the SC who understands the product but also understands sales. That person is dangerous. That person can teach you things and show you things that the product team won't show you, and the things that the sales team won't show you, and the things that really happen in the product when it's in front of the right stakeholder. And that's gold. Yep. And when we talk about underserved communities, what drew me to Vivint was the fact that this was a community I think that was just waiting to have not just a platform, but a place. Yep. How do I find other people like me who have my goals, who have my aspirations, who fell into sales engineering through serendipity. No one went to school for product marketing. No one went to school for sales engineering. Right. They used to be an engineer, a product, or sales leader. And so when you think about the ability to connect them, great things happen. You notice, Matt, they're great. They're kind of tinkerers. And tinkerers on the go-to-market side can be dangerous because they can build a lot of the things that they need to get the job done. And in building those things, they're exposing a lot of insights, a lot of opportunities for both your product, for your marketing team, for your sales team, for your post-sales team. So I just believe in the power community in that when you get smart people together to talk about things in a way that doesn't involve a sales pitch or a product or trying to jam something down someone's throat, some amazing insights come out the room. Yep. And the more you can put those communities and platforms together, the more informed and smart everybody leaves from it.
It seems like every category right now is evolving rapidly. Like the market is evolving, the landscape of competitors is evolving. I think AI for technical selling is not immune to that. How do you build a brand? How do you build an architecture, go-to-market strategy that stays durable, even as the underlying technology is moving so quickly? Yeah,
I think the goal is, or the focus should be, just don't chase the shiny objects that just may feel alluring. Like building on this foundation of sand and rock is important. What's the core competency of what you do? How do you do that thing really, really, really freaking well? And then how do you earn the right to go do other things? I think a lot of companies fall into a trap of, if I have my persona and my persona has this wish list, I got to go build against that wish list. And to your point, not only is the tool landscape evolving, but the tools that allow you to build and to code and to create products and to create prototypes is evolving. So, that notion of vibe coding something on the weekend has never been more prevalent. I don't know what your LinkedIn looks like, but I mean, how many times you have? So I did this over the weekend. Respond with, happy if you want this. I feel like in a world of everything can do anything, be really, really good at first things. Be really good at the core of what you do, and then earn the right to go do other things, because that anchor will get you through a lot of things. And there's a lot of tools. I think we come up with examples, but if I do one thing world class, I've earned the right to do more, as opposed to doing a bunch of second, third, and even fourth things subpar.
I've always struggled with, I'm going to pivot for a second.
Yeah.
I've always struggled with the concept of balance. Like work-life balance is hard for me to sort of define, especially as a founder and entrepreneur. And I think sometimes less about balance and more about anchors. You're an avid PlayStation player.
Yeah.
You're committed to your date nights with your bride.
I try to be.
You and your family attend church, sounds like regularly, and sort of like talk about the importance of anchors in your life that help you stay, I don't know if balance is the right word, but just like stay present and stay real.
Balance is the right word. I'm a Libra. Scales is the sign.
Yeah.
I sought work-life balance for a long time, and then a mentor and a friend pulled me aside and said, look, there really is no such thing. You do have to recognize in the world, though, for most of your kids, and you know this, you only have a couple summers.
Yeah.
Right, you got a couple summers as a toddler, a couple summers as a teenager, and then and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And within that window, we're working our butts off to provide for them and make sure that they're well off and giving them all the things we didn't have.
Yep.
But you got to be present.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things he taught me was like, look, they're not gonna remember that presentation you crushed at the Forrester Summit. They're not going to remember that white paper you wrote at Gardner. They're not going to remember that launch you did. They will remember you not being at the game when they hit their first home run.
Yep.
They will remember you not being at the dance recital. They will remember having to go to that party without you. And you recognize that, like, in a world where you can work all the time, we are hyper-connected, those moments ain't coming back.
No.
And so once you realize that, you can say, look, here's how I'm present when I need to be. Here's when I lock in. And I think the importance of not only building a team that can kind of hold you down when you're not there, but empowering them to miss those moments too.
Yep.
I don't know if you follow this, but there's a head coach in the NFL, Bruce Arians. He would say he'd fire a coach if they missed something for the team, or if they missed something for their family for the team. Right. It was really important that those guys on his staff felt like they could miss those moments. And it's part of why I'm here at Vivint as a completely remote company with flexibility to do what I need to do and unlimited PTO, because I'm a type A. I'm a competitor. I want to get the job done. I'm locked in when I'm locked in, but it's really important to remember your why. It is for your family. You don't work. You don't live. I'm gonna say this wrong, but you should not live to work. You should work to live. And it's gonna be very important to keep those anchors in a world where, again, recognize you only have but a few summers and nothing's promised.
Yeah. I'm leaving early today. I'm going to miss the concert with the Fray and the evening stuff because my daughter turns 17 tomorrow, and that is a non-negotiable. I'm going to be home not just for the day, but in the morning, so we can celebrate for her because she's a junior and she's going to be gone soon. Yeah. And every moment matters. And I'll tell you, like an earlier version of Matt would have been too anxious and not confident enough to do that, and my anxiety would have said, you got to stay here, you got to network, you got to do your thing. And if I'm doing this for my family, the best thing I can do is go back and be with my family.
Absolutely.
So that's something that sometimes someone will say, like, don't you wish you could go back and tell your earlier stuff, your earlier self, all these things? I'm like, he wouldn't listen.
That's right.
He definitely, he 100% would not be listening.
I wouldn't listen to me either, but I needed a mentor. I needed someone who had been in my shoes and said, hey, I see where you're going. And I see the path you're headed down. It's going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to frustration. It's going to lead to angst. It's going to lead to tension in your house. I don't want that for you. Right. So here's what I need you to do. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I'm telling anybody who's in that mode right now, you could grind season all day. Yeah. You could work, but the people in your life that need you to be present will see that, and it's hard for them to unremember. Yeah. It's getting sad, right? It's hard for them to unremember the birthdays and the moments and the touch points you miss. So good on you for headed back to the P&W to be with your daughter.
Yeah, and it's it's a work in progress, right?
Yeah.
Because even as you do that, you're like, boy, I'm going to miss out. There's business opportunities, but sometimes I'm just telling someone earlier, I'm in the middle of this book called "Be Where Your Feet Are," right? Like if I'm here, I got these things lined up. Correct. We're getting this done. I am here, but when I go home tomorrow, it is birthday time.
Yeah, and you're locked into that moment.
And as the day ends, there's things I didn't get done, but there's a day with my daughter that will last forever.
Amen.
and it's important.
Yep,
All right,
absolutely.
man.
Well said, man.
Yeah, Gerard Green, CMO at Vivint. Love being able to have a wide range of conversations.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.